My son, reach for my hand. Do not give up. Please, climb higher.
Since the beginning of human history, humanity has always believed that great civilizations fall because of war or famine or disease. But one of the oldest stories ever preserved tells us something very different. Sometimes, a civilization begins to collapse the moment it forgets its creator. Long before the great flood, long before the ark, the earth was filled with people. They built cities, they raised families, they traded, they prospered. Life seemed peaceful. Generation after generation, their numbers increased, their wealth multiplied, their confidence grew. Many believed nothing could ever destroy the world they had built, but while their civilization continued to grow, something far more dangerous was quietly growing inside their hearts. According to the Quran, the people slowly abandoned the worship of the one true God. Instead, they turned toward idols. According to Islamic tradition, these idols did not begin as false gods. They were originally created to remember righteous people who had once inspired their communities. People admired them, respected them, remembered their goodness. So statues were built in their honor. At first, no one worshipped them, but generations passed. The people who knew the original purpose died. Their children inherited the statues without inheriting the truth. Slowly, respect became reverence. Reverence became devotion. And devotion became worship. Stone replaced the Creator. The work of human hands replaced the one who created the heavens and the earth. Yet life continued. The rivers still flowed. The crops still grew. The sun still rose every morning. And because no punishment came immediately, the people believed they had done nothing wrong. They had no idea that history was about to witness one of the greatest events ever recorded, because God was preparing to send a messenger, a man whose patience would become legendary, a man who would spend centuries calling his people back to the truth. His name was Noah. Noah was not sent to a distant empire. He was sent to his own people, the people who had watched him grow up, who knew his character, his honesty, his kindness, his integrity. Long before he became a messenger, he was already respected among them. No one could accuse him of lying. No one could question his sincerity. Then one day, everything changed. God chose Noah to carry a message that would challenge an entire civilization. There is only one God. He alone deserves to be worshipped. Abandon the idols. Turn back before it is too late. The message was simple, clear, and direct. Yet it was the last thing his people wanted to hear. The idols had become part of their identity, their traditions, their culture. To abandon them would mean admitting that generations before them had been wrong. Pride became stronger than truth. Day after day, Noah walked through the towns calling his people back to God. He spoke with wisdom. He spoke with compassion. He never forced anyone. He simply invited them to reflect. Who created the sky above you? Who sends the rain? Who causes the seeds to grow? Can a statue carved from stone do any of these things? Many listened. Few believed. Most laughed. Some mocked him openly. Others whispered behind his back, "There goes Noah again, the man who wants us to abandon the religion of our fathers." But Noah never stopped. When they gathered in public, he spoke to them publicly. When they hid in their homes, he visited them privately. When they rejected him during the day, he returned at night. Years passed, then decades. Still, he continued calling them to the same truth, not because he expected praise, but because he cared about their future. Every sunrise was another opportunity. Every sunset was another reminder that time was slowly running out. Yet as people believed they had all the time in the world, they had no idea that every day they rejected Noah, they were moving one step closer to a moment that would change the history of humanity forever. The years became decades. The decades became generations. Children were born. They grew into adults, then became parents themselves. And throughout all those years, Noah never abandoned his mission. According to the Quran, he remained among his people for 950 years, calling them to God with extraordinary patience. Very few human beings in history have shown such perseverance. Imagine spending centuries repeating the same message, watching thousands of people turn away, yet never allowing disappointment to silence you. Noah tried every possible approach. He spoke gently. He spoke firmly. He addressed crowds. He spoke to individuals. He reminded them of the blessings surrounding them. The one who created you, the one who sends the rain, the one who provides your food, is the only one worthy of worship. He warned them that no civilization, no matter how powerful, could survive if it abandoned the truth. But instead of listening, their resistance only grew stronger. The leaders feared Noah more than anyone else, not because he carried weapons, not because he sought power, but because truth has always threatened those who profit from falsehood. They gathered the people and said, "Do not abandon your gods. Do not listen to Noah. He is only a man like you." Slowly, the leaders turned public opinion against him. Parents warned their children never to speak with Noah. Friends mocked anyone who showed interest in his message. The more sincerely he preached, the more fiercely they rejected him. Some even covered their ears whenever he spoke. Others walked away before he could finish a sentence. According to the Quran, they wrapped themselves in their garments, refusing even to hear his words. Still, Noah never responded with hatred. He never called for revenge. He continued hoping that one more person, just one more, might open their heart before it was too late. But after centuries of patience, the moment would finally come when the door of mercy would begin to close. For centuries, Noah had exhausted every path. He had spoken with patience, with wisdom, with compassion, yet the hearts of his people had only grown harder. They no longer mocked only the message. They mocked the messenger himself. Every passing year convinced them that Noah had failed. "If your warning is true," they said, "then where is this punishment you keep speaking about?" They laughed. They smiled. They returned to their daily lives, certain that nothing would ever happen. But they could not see that every day God was giving them was another act of mercy, another chance to return, another opportunity to be forgiven. Then God revealed to Noah something that changed everything. According to the Quran, he was told that no one else from his people would believe except those who had already accepted the truth. The years of calling were over. The time for warning had come to an end. For the first time, Noah knew the future of his nation, not because he guessed it, but because God had revealed it to him. The door of repentance was beginning to close. Soon, justice would replace mercy. Noah was told not to grieve over those who had chosen disbelief. Their decision had already been made. Then came a command unlike anything ever given before, a command that must have sounded impossible. God instructed Noah, to build an ark not beside the sea, not on the coast, but far from the water, a massive ship built on dry land. Noah immediately began the work. He did not ask why. He did not hesitate. He simply obeyed. And as the sound of wood striking wood echoed across the land, his people gathered once again. This time, their laughter became louder than ever. They looked at the enormous structure rising from the earth, and they could not stop laughing. They believed Noah had finally lost his mind. They had no idea that every plank placed into that ark was bringing the final hour of their civilization closer. Every morning, Noah returned to the ark. Piece by piece, beam by beam, the ship continued to grow. It was unlike anything his people had ever seen. They walked past it, pointed at it, laughed until tears filled their eyes. A ship? They mocked. Out here, there isn't even a river, there isn't even a sea. To them, it was proof that Noah had become delusional. They gathered around him, making jokes, inventing stories, turning his work into entertainment. But Noah never argued. He never stopped building. He simply looked at them and said, "Today you laugh at us, but a day will come when we will see who truly deserves to be laughed at." His words echoed across the land. Yet no one believed them. The hammer continued to strike the wood, day after day, month after month, until finally the ark stood complete, massive, strong, ready for a purpose that no one else could imagine. Then God revealed the final instruction. Noah was told to prepare not only his family who believed, but also the believers who had remained faithful through years of ridicule. And something even more extraordinary. Animals began to arrive, not driven by Noah, not gathered by human effort, but guided by the command of God. From every direction they came, large and small, wild and tame. Walking calmly toward the ark, the people watched in confusion. Some laughed, others stood in silence. None of them understood what they were witnessing. Nature itself was obeying its creator, while mankind continued to rebel. The signs were now unfolding before their eyes, one after another, yet their hearts remained unchanged. They still believed there would be another tomorrow, another chance, another warning. But they were wrong. The moment that had been delayed for centuries was now only moments away. Then the sign appeared, not in the sky, not in the sea, but inside Noah's own home. According to the Quran, God had told Noah that when the appointed sign appeared, the time had come. The believers entered the ark. The animals had already taken their places. Everything was ready. Outside, life continued as though nothing had changed. Children played, merchants traded, families went about their daily routines. No one imagined that the world they knew was about to disappear forever. Then, the heavens changed. Dark clouds gathered across the horizon. The wind grew stronger. The air became heavy. Still, the people paid no attention. Rain had fallen before. Storms had come before. This would be no different, or so they believed. Then the first drops began to fall. Slowly, quietly, almost gently. The people smiled. It is only rain. But this was no ordinary rain. According to the Quran, the sky poured down water in overwhelming torrents. At the same time, the earth itself burst open. Water erupted from the ground, from places where no water had ever existed. The rivers overflowed. The valleys disappeared. The land itself seemed to break apart. Water came from above. Water came from below. The earth was surrounded. The people ran in every direction. The laughter vanished. The mockery disappeared. Panic replaced pride. Those who had mocked the ark now searched desperately for safety, but there was nowhere left to run. The flood was no longer approaching. It had arrived, and the doors of the ark slowly closed. Inside the ark, there was silence. Outside, the world was disappearing. The rain showed no mercy. The water continued to rise. Villages vanished beneath the flood. Fields disappeared. Roads became rivers. Mountains slowly faded behind endless waves. Every promise the people had trusted, every idol they had worshipped, every false hope they had clung to, was powerless. Not a single statue could stop the water. Not a single leader could save his people. The truth they had rejected for centuries now stood before their eyes. Then Noah looked into the distance. Among the crowds struggling against the flood, he saw someone familiar, his own son. According to the Quran, Noah called out to him with the voice of a father, "My son, come aboard with us. Do not remain with those who rejected the truth." For one final moment, the choice was still there, safety or destruction, but his son looked toward the mountains. "I will climb to a high place. It will protect me from the water." He believed that human strength was greater than the command of God. Noah answered with words that would echo throughout history. Today, there is no protection from the decree of God, except for those upon whom he has mercy. Before another word could be spoken, a massive wave rose between them. Father and son disappeared from each other's sight. When the water settled, his son was gone. The flood made no distinction between the rich and the poor, between the powerful and the weak, or even between strangers and family. On that day, faith mattered more than blood, and obedience mattered more than status. The ark continued to rise, carried safely above a world that had once believed it could never fall. The ark rested upon the mountain. The flood was over. The silence that followed was unlike anything the survivors had ever known. Then Noah turned to God with a heavy heart. He remembered his son, the son who had refused to board the ark. According to the Quran, Noah prayed, believing that his family had been promised safety. But God revealed a profound truth. Faith, not blood, is what truly unites people before him. Noah immediately accepted God's wisdom. He asked for forgiveness, and he submitted completely to the will of his Creator. Soon after, God commanded Noah and those with him to leave the ark. The earth was ready once again. A new beginning had arrived. The survivors stepped onto dry land. Everything they had once known was gone. Before them lay an empty world, a world waiting to be built again. Humanity would begin anew, not through power, not through wealth, but through faith. Thousands of years have passed, yet the story of Noah still echoes across the world. It is not merely the story of a flood. It is the story of patience, of unwavering faith, of a man who spent centuries calling his people to the truth, even when almost no one listened. The ark was never just a ship. It became a symbol, a reminder that true safety is found not in wealth, nor in power, nor in the strength of mountains, but in trusting God. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall, but the truth remains unchanged. Those who follow it may stand alone for a time. They may be mocked, rejected, even abandoned, yet history remembers them differently. Noah lost his home, his possessions, and even his son, but he never lost his faith, and that is why his name is still remembered. Long after the floodwaters disappeared, the waves are gone, the ark has long since vanished, but its message still sails through history.